Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time seeing my face, I am Haley. Little disclaimer here, these are the kind of videos that I will be posting on my channel from now on. So if beauty and makeup is not something that you're interested in, I totally understand. You can go ahead and unsubscribe. But of course I would appreciate you staying if it is something that you're interested in. On another note, if you do like the makeup look that I'm wearing right now, go ahead and stick around and let's get started. Alright, so I already have my foundation on. We all know how to put foundation on, so I thought I'd just skip that step and go straight into the eyebrows. The product that I use on my brows is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow. It does get dry, but that's why I always have vitamin E oil or argan oil to put a couple drops in, and then it works perfectly fine for me. So I'm going to get in with that. Alright, so eyebrows are on, and next I'm just gonna prime my eyelids. I don't use an eyelid primer, I just use the Tarte concealer as an eyelid primer, so I'm just gonna put that on real quick. And I also, after that step, I put a bit of translucent powder on my eyelids. I just find that it makes like a smoother base for the shadows. It kind of just helps everything blend in really nicely, so I'm gonna do that and you'll see. Just putting like 2 dots on my eyes, or maybe 3. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take my Morphe palette. I don't know what number it is, but it has a lot of purples and burgundies and browns. So I'm going to take a fluffy blending brush like this, and the first color I'm going to use as my transition color, and let's see, we'll go in with a light purple. And just blending that pretty high up on my crease, maybe a little bit above my crease. I kind of use my transition colors to help create the shape that I want for my eyes. And with a look like this, I kind of like to bring it out a little bit more to make my eyes look a little like cat eyes, maybe. And kind of just build up the intensity as you go along. Next, I'm gonna go in with more of a burgundy color, and I'm gonna put that, center that more into my actual crease. Kind of just patting it in there. Alright, those 2 colors are down. Now I'm gonna go in with a purple color. I'm gonna go ahead and use a small dome brush and really center that on my outer corner here and deepen up my crease. And I'm just gonna start by patting it in there. So I get it exactly where I want it. Fuck. This is the joy of having cats. You stay there. Okay, back to what I was saying. Yeah, and now here's where I'm gonna go ahead and bring it into my outer V. And kind of just creating the shape for where I want the darker colors to be. Now I'm going to take that fluffy brush and put a little bit of that purple color on there and then blend it all together. Okay, and once I like the intensity of the purple, I don't really want it to be super purple. I just like that color with this look. Next I'm going to go in with the black color that's in this palette, just because it's not super pigmented, and honestly when using black I like to build it up, and the black that I'm about to use is like super pigmented in the other palette, so I kind of just like to use a crappier black and like I said, like just place it down where I want the black to be. So I'm gonna focus the black on the outer corner here, and you know, it's gonna look more like a gray, but you'll see. Now I'm gonna take my Gemini palette by Melt Cosmetics. I love this palette so much. The colors are super pigmented and it has the best black that I have, so super excited about having that. I'm gonna use the small dome brush that I've been using, and I'm gonna go in with the color Bonnie, which is the black. And you guys will see how pigmented this is. And I'm just gonna put it on the outer V and blend it into my crease. Okay, now that that color is pretty much blended, I am gonna go in with the Morphe palette and use the first color that I used for my transition color and just kind of go above the black, just so I get that nice gradient back again. And I do go pretty high up to my eyebrow bone, but obviously you don't have to do that. Now the fun part, I'm going to cut my crease, and to do that I'm going to use just one of the eyeshadow brushes that come in a Naked palette. I like it because it's flat and I don't know, it's just really easy to cut your crease with that. And of course I'm going to use, and my cat girl's going to jump up here. You are a camera hog, shoosh. Why is she doing that, I wonder? Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna use this brush, gonna use this concealer and cut my crease. I think that pretty much everyone knows how to cut their crease now, but something that really helped me is putting a good amount onto my lower lid and then looking up, and you kind of get a line there, and that's kind of my baseline for carving out that space on my lid. And I don't know why, but for some reason I like the look of bringing the top part out a little bit farther, so I kind of make almost an angular line. I don't know. And then I take my finger and pat that in to kind of blend it into the shadows. Next thing I'm gonna do is take the black color that I've been using. I'm just gonna take a little bit of that and blend in the concealer so I still get that black showing through. And I kind of go a little bit around the edge just to define it. I think the key to using black is to do little bits at a time. That way you don't end up looking like a raccoon. Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna put an interesting color on my lid. I'm gonna go in with my Lime Crime Venus palette, and I'm going to use the sparkly red color that's in there. And firstly, I'm going to just take my finger and pat that on. I find that using your finger will, at least with this shade, you get the most pigment out of it. I really like the colors in this palette, but they can be a little bit patchy and hard to blend out. And for some reason they don't show up. It could be the brush that I use, but it doesn't really pick up the pigment well. Next, I'm gonna go in with a dome brush. Probably a better brush to use is a flat brush, but I'm just gonna pat that on around the edges there where my finger couldn't get in. Okay. And again, I'm gonna go in with my blending brush and I'm kind of just going to blend out the edges, make sure that everything is nice and blended. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye and I'll come back to you. Okay, so I have both eyes done. I'm gonna go ahead and take the burgundy color that I used in my crease from the Morphe palette, and I'm gonna kind of just stamp it along the bottom, my lower lash line. And I'm also going to take the dark purple color and do the same thing, but kind of center it closer to my lash line. And I just kind of connect the bottom and the sides here. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is eyeliner. I'm going to be using the Sephora, what is it, brush tip liquid liner. Okay, my eyeliner took me a billion years to do, but it's on. And when doing a look like this, to add more dramatics, I like to bring out the corners of my eyes a little bit, or a lot of it, depending on how the eyeliner goes. So now I'm just gonna add mascara and then we can move on to face and lips. So the mascara that I'm using is the telescopic, I think, carbon black mascara. I personally don't recommend it. I bought it, so I'm using it, but you'll probably like it if you like your lashes super long but no volume, because that's what it is for me. But I like volume and length, so don't recommend it. But now I'm gonna go ahead and do concealer. I'm gonna come back to eyes after we finish concealer because I'm gonna clean up any lines or anything like that. So the concealer I'm using at the moment is the NARS Radiant Concealer, and I think I'm in the color Chantilly, which is the lightest one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put 4 dots under my eyes. Okay, so I added my bottom mascara. I'm gonna go ahead and set my under eyes with the Becca translucent powder, I guess. It's like an under eye brightening powder. When doing a look like this, I don't want a super bronzy look, but I am going to contour my face because I want it super structured. So when doing a grungy and vampy look like this, I like to use cream contour. So I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit. I'm going to be using the light one, and I'm going to be using the 2 darkest colors in the palette. And I just take that on a foundation brush. And I kind of go right where my natural cheekbone is, but when I blend it, I bring it about a quarter of the way, well, I guess halfway. Okay, now that I look crazy, I'm gonna go ahead and blend that in with just a dome face brush. And when blending it out, I kind of blend upwards. That way it doesn't drag down and bring my cheekbones down. Now the tricky part for me is nose contouring, blending that out and making it look good. This is just what I do. I'm not like an expert on it or anything, but I kind of use a thicker dome brush and I blend downwards. And then going in with the leftover foundation on my beauty blender and just helping it blend into my skin better. Alright, and that's pretty much what I do for contouring. I'm going to set it with my Park Avenue Princess bronzer by Tarte. I've had this thing forever, as you can see. So I'm just going to use a little bit of it just to set the cream. I don't really want it to add much more color. Now I'm gonna set my face with some powder. I'm not super picky with it. I barely use any powder, but just a little bit to set everything. I do have pretty oily skin. And at this point, I kind of wipe away any powder that's under my eyes, go under my cheekbones. Perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and use my blush. I'm gonna use the Laura Geller Baked Blush in Pink Grapefruit. I like this blush because it has a little bit of shimmer in it, so it kind of gives you a nice glow. And I focus my blush more on my cheekbones rather than in the center. I hope that it just helps me blend in my contour better. I'm going to spray my face with Fix Plus to shut everything down. That's my favorite part. Now I'm going to highlight. I like to spray setting spray before I do my highlight because I feel, and it could all be in my head, but I feel like it makes it glow more. So I use a little pointy brush like this. And today I'm going to use the ColourPop Super Shock Cheek. It's a highlighter in Flexitarian. I can't talk. And I'm going to put quite a generous amount on my cheekbones, and I kind of bring it down to the apples of my cheeks. Now she's glowing. And I'm obviously going to put a little bit on the tip of my nose. I know not everyone likes that, but I personally like it. I think it makes your nose look cute. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take a little tiny flat brush and highlight all of the places that are hard to get, like underneath my brow bone. I'm going to put a little bit in the inner corners, and my Cupid's bow. Alright, now everything's glowing. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the eyes and use eyeliner on my waterline. Last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and do lips. I'm going to go ahead and wipe off any foundation that's on my lips. I'm going to use the MAC Prep and Prime Lip Primer. I really like the way this stuff feels. Another product I really like using is the Camilla Gold Spun Lip Balm. I love that stuff as well. And next I'm going to go in with Vampyra Kat Von D Liquid Lipstick. I'm going to just spray my face one more time because I feel like it. And this is essentially your look.